It's the beginning of March 2019, so that's time for another monthly update video in which I'll talk about what we've got coming up this month and what went on in the month of February. I always like to begin by highlighting three big things that I figure you subscribers, viewers, other fans might be interested in. So one of these is particularly big, and that's big thing number one. We will pass the 500 mark in the Philosophy Core Concepts series, and I'm going to have a little online party about that, and I invite you to join me. So more about that in March. Another thing coming up this month, big thing number two, we will have a video premiere. I'm redoing and rethinking my How to Study Plato Independently on Your Own video, because I want to start doing a series about this. So Plato is the place for me to start, and so you can look out for that coming up later this month. And the big thing number three is I have done a month worth of writing in Erexis Dianoetike, not every single day, but I've successfully transitioned it into my sort of updates and short thoughts blog. So if you haven't checked that out, you probably want to. I'll have a lot of new content coming this month in Erexis Dianoetike, my main blog. So what went on in the month of February? February is always a short month. It comes sandwiched in between two longer months when you can actually get things done. It seems like there's never enough days in the month anyway, and February it's particularly compressed. I also had some illnesses. I'm still sick right now. I've got some sinus thing going on, but I did end up using a few sick days and not teaching quite as much, but I did manage to get some things done. So I had events on Epictetus in the Philosopher in the Midst of History series. We had a talk here. I have not yet put the video out for that, but we'll be doing that later this week. I also had a talk in the monthly Worlds of Speculative Fiction series that we host here locally with the Brookfield Public Library, and we talked about G.K. Chesterton, somebody who I'm a big fan of. The video for that is available, and you'll find it below. I also did a workshop here at a local college for the philosophy majors. It's one of my sort of stock workshops that I do from time to time, centered on how you actually make a living with a philosophy degree without becoming a philosophy instructor. And so the undergraduates were very interested in that, understandably so. I do that both for undergraduate and graduate students. And I also, by the way, as a sideline, help people who are in academia transition out of it and find, remunerative stuff to do. It is quite possible to make a living outside of the traditional academy, but a lot of people don't even think about that. So that was a lot of fun to do. I had my half-hour Hegel online sessions, did my AMA, did my philosophy pop-ups. This month focused on Stoicism and romantic relationships, and did quite a few other things as well. I am still teaching my 5 college and university classes, so that demands quite a lot of doing content production, a lot of grading, a lot of lecturing. But I do enjoy doing all that work. It's just there is an awful lot of it. And I did start getting more writing done in not only my author blog, Erexis Dianoetike, which I've decided to start writing much shorter pieces, and updates and things like that. Not necessarily every single day, but I'm aiming to try to get something done most days in there to use it in a different way. And I decided that I would do my longer form writing on places like Medium. Or, of course, I edit Stoicism today. I've got a piece that'll be coming up later this month there, or in the Partially Examined Life, or I've got, if I want to, I can pitch things to the conversation. I'm thinking that now it's time for me to do my longer form popular writing in these other electronic venues. I did some, video work. I only got 1 half-hour Hegel video done this month, mostly due to the illness factor coming up at bad times. I shot quite a few core concept videos, mostly for my classes. some on St. Anselm, some on James Rachel's Challenge of Cultural Relativism. I shot some Kohlberg material, Lawrence Kohlberg, on moral development that I haven't released yet except to my Patreon supporters. And I shot some other core concept material as well. And I also, produced the event videos. You can see all of those if you look below in the video description. So that really took up most of the month. And I think if I hadn't have gotten sick while I had so much work on my plate, I probably would have been able to get everything done for the month that I wanted to. But, alas, that happens. So now I'm doing a lot of catch-up. What have we got coming up in the month of March? So let me tell you first about events. Put them on your calendar. Jot them down however you want to. Some of them are online, so you can participate in them pretty much anywhere. Some of them are local. So we start off with an online event, my monthly AMA, that's Ask Me Anything session, which I will be holding on this coming Saturday, the 9th at 12 p.m. Central Time. Make sure that you check your time zones, especially if you're in a place that doesn't observe daylight savings time. You want to make sure, find out what time it is in Chicago, and that's the time that we are up here in Milwaukee. So I'll be doing that AMA. And then on the 10th, which is Sunday, I'm going to hold an online celebration, and I haven't quite worked out all the details, but I'm going to do that about our 500 core concept videos, where actually I went and then looked at the thing today, the playlist. There's 497. So with the things I'm going to release this week, we will be at 500, if not past that. And I invite you to come and hang out with me a bit, and we'll talk about, what I've got coming up. Maybe I'll do it in an online video format, like with the AMAs. Maybe I'll do it with video conferencing. I got to think through how exactly I'm going to do it. But it will be on the 10th at 4 p.m. So make sure that you come in for that. And then on the 12th, which is a Tuesday, we'll have at 4 p.m. we'll have our public Hegel Q&A discussion session. That is video conferencing, so you can talk to me live, ask me questions about Hegel, bring up other stuff from German idealism or applicability of Hegel to things. It's open to the public. It's something that I do as a public service, funded by my Patreon supporters. Then on the 14th, if you're here in the greater Milwaukee area, at the Brookfield Public Library, 7 p.m., we're going to have another one of the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series, and this time we're discussing Mary Shelley. And of course, everybody's read Frankenstein in high school, or at least, read about it. And that is a really important work, and it's quite a good piece of literature. But she wrote other things as well, including other things about, utopias or dystopias, other really interesting material. So we're going to talk about Frankenstein, of course, but we'll talk about her larger oeuvre, right? Her corpus, and go into that. And why do we pick Mary Shelley? Because she's so important as an early science fiction, horror, gothic, pick all these different genres, writer. Then on the 16th, which is a Saturday, we got two things coming up. At 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be doing a video premiere of my, video essentially talking about how can you study Plato on your own productively. I'll be giving you tips, insights, my own experience, and talking about what you might want to get and what you might want to keep in mind. And you can interact with me live while it is premiering. Then at 3 p.m. we'll have our philosophy chat for Patreon supporters. And that's a video conferencing, again, if you want to, get to chat with me. And that's open to any topic. Anything people want to bring up, we'll do philosophy chat about that. The last thing is on Thursday the 28th, very end of the month, at 6 p.m. at the Shorewood Public Library. We have the MKE Stoic Fellowship meeting. We do this monthly. We will be talking about the beginning of Book 4 of Epictetus's Discourses. There's a very, very long chapter there on freedom, and we'll talk about, how we apply this in our day-to-day lives and whether we're making any progress with Stoicism or not. So those are the events. There's already quite a lot going on. I'm still teaching in my classes, of course. March is a real important turnaround time. This is make or break for many of the students. And it's, we're halfway through, and now we got to keep on plowing away. But we do at least have spring break for the Marquette and Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design students. Not for MATC, they're in April. But I'll have at least a week where I get to catch up myself and get everything ready for the students as they move on with the material. I'll probably do a lot of grading too. And I'm hoping to do a lot more writing this month. As I mentioned, I'll be having a piece coming out in Stoicism Today, either this weekend or the weekend after. You should look for my work in Medium. I'll follow the link below to my profile, where you can find my writings. Orexis Dianoetike, if you're not following my main author blog, you might want to check that out, since I have updates about events, giveaways, cool stuff, as well as my musings from day to day that I put down in there. So if you want to know what a philosopher is thinking about, there you go. And there'll be other venues as well, and I'll put announcements for that in my social media. I'm going to be working on some course design stuff, mostly for academic courses, but eventually all that stuff will go into the Teachable Academy as well, which means that you can actually either purchase the courses. Some of them are available at a price, some of them are actually free, but we'll see what I can bring to out not this month, but in coming months. Last thing I need to talk about really is video work, and I really want to get back on track shooting those 6 half-hour Hegel videos, so that we're not spending forever in this spirit section of the phenomenology, and we can get into the religion section, which means that we're getting close to the end of the work. It's been 6 years that I've put in on this project, so it's about time I actually brought it to a close. I'm going to be doing some core concept videos. What I'm shooting now is stuff on Thomas Aquinas. I shot the Kohlberg. I'll be releasing that sort of stuff. And I'll also be shooting stuff on René Descartes, David Hume, and I think I'm going to be shooting some stuff on Anselm and his dialogue on freedom of the will. And I might go back and shoot some stuff on Augustine that I didn't get to if I can find the time. I'll be also shooting that self-study Plato video, and of course there will be a recording of the Mary Shelley discussion, of the AMA, of some of the other things as well. So, if you miss them, you'll have a chance to see them later on. And I'm trying to set aside time to get back into doing the podcast. Taking my lectures and turning them into things that you can listen to online wherever you go. That's a matter of finding the time, and we'll see how that works this coming month. So that is everything that's going on. Hope all of you have a great month of March, and maybe it's time to get a lot of things done as we finish up the first quarter of the year.